The manager raised his voice so the entire room could hear it. He told the old veteran to leave because he was making guests uncomfortable. Chairs stopped moving. Forks froze in midair. No one expected what happened next. Asterisk. What city are you watching from today? If this story resonated with you, hit subscribe for more real stories about extraordinary people. The man stood slowly from his seat, careful with his knees, careful with his balance. His jacket was old, its seams worn thin from decades of use. A small service pin rested above his heart, polished but modest. He had not raised his voice. He had not argued. He only nodded once, the way soldiers do when they understand an order, even if they do not agree with it. The restaurant was filled with families, couples, and travelers passing through town. It was the kind of place where people went to feel safe, comfortable, and unbothered. The veteran had chosen a corner table, far from the windows, far from attention. He ordered a simple meal and ate slowly, as if every movement had weight behind it. No one knew his name. No one knew where he had been or what he had done. They only saw an old man with weathered hands and eyes that seemed to look through walls instead of at them. The complaint came from a nearby table. Someone whispered that the man looked rough, that he did not fit the atmosphere. The manager listened, nodded, and walked over with practiced confidence. He spoke politely at first, then firmly. He said the establishment reserved the right to refuse service. The veteran listened without interruption. He folded his napkin carefully and placed it on the table. He pushed his chair in so it would not block the aisle. He reached for his jacket, moving with the calm discipline of someone who had spent a lifetime following rules. That should have been the end of it. At a table near the back, 6 young men watched him stand. They had been laughing moments earlier, talking about deployments, about home, about nothing important. They wore plain clothes, but their posture never truly relaxed. Their haircuts were regulation even without uniforms. Their eyes followed movement out of instinct, not curiosity. The oldest among them noticed the pin first. It was small. Most people would miss it. But Marines are trained to notice details others overlook. That pin was not decorative. It marked service from a time most people only read about in history books. One Marine set his glass down. Another straightened his back. A third pushed his chair away from the table. When the veteran took his first step toward the exit, all 6 Marines stood up at the same time. The sound was not loud, but it was final. 6 chairs slid back together. 6 bodies locked into attention without conscious thought. Conversations around them faded as people sensed a shift in the room they could not explain. The manager turned, confused by the sudden movement. His practiced smile faltered when he saw the Marines standing straight. Eyes forward, hands at their sides, the oldest Marine spoke. His voice calm and controlled. Sir, with respect. That man is not leaving alone. The manager frowned, unsure how to respond. He glanced around, looking for support, but found only silence. The Marine continued. That man served this country long before any of us were born. He earned the right to sit wherever he chooses. The veteran turned slowly, surprise flickering across his face. He had not expected anyone to notice. He had learned long ago that most people did not. Another Marine spoke. We will leave if he leaves. But understand this. You are asking a war hero to walk out because someone felt uncomfortable. The word war hero settled into the room like gravity. The manager swallowed. He looked at the veteran again, really looked this time. At the straight spine beneath the worn jacket. At the steady eyes that held no anger, only quiet endurance. What unit were you with? Sir, one Marine asked. The veteran hesitated for a moment, then answered simply. 1st Marine Division. The Marines did not cheer. They did not clap. They did something far more powerful. Every one of them snapped into a salute. The motion was sharp, precise, and full of respect. It was the kind of salute given on memorial fields and final farewells. The kind that carries gratitude words can never fully express. People around the room stood without understanding why. Some placed hands over their hearts. Others felt their throats tighten, sensing they were witnessing something rare and sacred. The veteran's hands trembled as he returned the salute. His eyes glistened, not with sadness, but with recognition. He saw himself reflected in those young Marines. He saw the future he once was and the legacy he carried without ever asking to. The manager cleared his throat. His voice was quieter now. Sir, please accept my apology. Your meal is on the house. You are welcome to stay as long as you like. The veteran nodded once more. Thank you, he said. He turned back to his table, his step steady, his dignity intact. The Marine sat back down, but the room was changed. Conversations resumed, but softer, kinder. Strangers looked at the old man with new eyes. When the veteran finished his meal, he stood again. This time, people noticed. Some nodded. Some whispered thank you. The Marine stood once more, offering a final salute as he passed. Outside, the night air was cool. The veteran paused on the sidewalk, looking up at the stars. He thought of friends who never made it home, of sacrifices that went unseen, of how respect can fade but never truly disappear. Inside, the Marines sat quietly, their laughter gone, replaced by something deeper. They had not stood to make a scene. They had stood because honor demands action, even when no one else is watching. That night, a room full of strangers learned the lesson that history tries to teach again and again. True heroes do not announce themselves. They sit quietly in corners, carrying stories heavy enough to last a lifetime. And sometimes, all it takes is 6 people willing to stand to remind the world who they are. What did this story make you feel? Where are you watching from? Subscribe to Soul Relief Stories for more real stories that heal the heart.